for the Cronin Maloney art household. Honestly, if I wasn't living with other artists, I really don't know what I would do.
Hi, my name is Sarah Maloney.
Hi, I'm Ray Cronin.
Hi, I'm Catherine.
And I'm Mollie Cronin.
I am part-time faculty at NSCAD. I work as a sculptor and a textile artist.
I'm a writer and a curator and an editor.
I'm an illustrator and cartoonist, and I write under the name Brat Comics often.
Currently, I'm working on finishing my BFA from NSCAD at home.
I spent about 4 or 5 months living with my parents and my sisters in Elmsdale over the quarantine.
This is my studio. I had been working all over the house over the winter, but knowing that this is going to go on a little longer has made me realize I really needed to get my studio all weathered.
My studio is what most people would call an office.
I am living and working out of my parents' basement.
Mom's studio. Catherine's studio. Dad's studio. Now I'm back in my apartment in Halifax, and this is my office/studio.
So having a studio from home has been a really interesting experience.
I do all my work on a computer, especially since the COVID virus. I've been working on exhibitions where everything is done online. I never even get to see them half the time.
So growing up in a house full of artists and doing that again recently over quarantine, I've gotten really used to everybody working on top of one another, and it's not very different here in my apartment. My roommate and I both work from home, both artists, sharing space, sharing kind of like dining room as studio. But there's lots of artists that come in and out. We've got a dark room in the basement and a wood shop in the backyard. So we've got lots of artists in and out all the time. So it's nice that the kind of house I grew up in is sort of where I've ended up again as an adult.
The only downside is that you don't get the creative companionship that you get in normal school life. You don't have that community. So trying to stay creatively motivated without that has been a really interesting challenge. I mean, if you are an artist, you have to have some kind of creative community. So living with 2 other artists has been a bit of a lifesaver for me.
Sometimes I have a helper. My studio is formerly the garage. I have exiled any garage-related things out to a shed, and now it is just studio equipment. I want to show my foundry. This is a furnace I can use for melting metal. This is a crucible that I can melt bronze or aluminum in. This is something I do outside in the driveway or elsewhere on the property.
So I've got my little desk set up where I do my illustrations, all my books and all my many years of sketchbooks. Got a record player. Here's some of my prints. Beautiful sunny day. So at my desk, I've got this cute picture of my parents. Some flowers. Some art hanging above. That's not very helpful.
I'm currently working on several book projects, and I have my research notes set up here. This is my art history of Halifax, some of the research. This is a book about sculpture, that's some of the research. This is my next book for my Gaspro Field Guide series, and on and on. I kind of try to keep all this stuff together. And then whenever I need something else, I just get to turn around, and I have all my other books here.
The pandemic has had me doing a lot of time embroidering. This is the work I did over the winter, large embroidered piece. This is the companion piece that I'd done the year before. I've got another one on the works, which we'll get to.
So I've had to find new ways to create jewelry. So currently, I'm working on a series of felted jewelry.
Right now I'm working on a lot of portraits for people for weddings or for the holidays coming up. Doing a lot of drawings for Inktober, Drawtober, that kind of thing. Oh, hello. I live here with my kitten, Ozzy. Are you the worst studio cat ever? Just kidding. He's pretty nice.
So this is some prototypes of the series I'm currently working on. This is when I was thinking about doing encased wire, but I started encasing the wire in rubber tubing and having the felting be the beads so that you can move it around and it's really playful. But what I've decided to work on now is encasing the wire in felt. This piece was a lot of fun to make. It has great movement. You can wear it many different ways. Just, really fun.
This is where I embroider. It's moved around. It's been in the spare bedroom. It's now in my bedroom. It will go out to the studio shortly, but I work on a big quilt stand. Hi, Toby. That's Toby.
My day is pretty simple. I work at the computer. When I'm reading for research, I get to move over. I get to sit in this nice, comfortable studio chair that was my great-grandfather's, and I have a pile of books on the go as well as reading the things that I'm reading for what I'm writing. So that's really it. It's a pretty simple way of working. It's not, and quite honestly, it's the same as any writer's space, COVID or not. But working, it is working at home, and the thing I have to remember is that in here I'm working, out there, well, all bets are off.
And there's Toby.
Yes, there's Toby, my little studio cat. It's been quite fun working with felt with him. He likes to eat it.
So my pen name, Brat Comics, is actually a joke about growing up with artist parents, the way that kids who grew up in the military might be called Army brats or Navy brats. My sisters and I started jokingly referring to ourselves as art brats.
Another role I have, a responsibility, is that I'm the official writer for Mitch Mitchell's Box Factory project. Now, I'm not quite sure what the official writer for the Box Factory is supposed to do. I do know I'm employee number 1 of the Box Factory, and for that I get this beautiful brief toolbox that Mitch made out of signs. It's actually based on a toolbox that came out of his family, I think from his grandfather, and it's always filled with a libation. So at the end of the working day, and only at the end of the working day, I can have a bit of single malt scotch to reward myself for all my hard labor. And he's planning on making, there'll be at least 50 employees at the Box Factory. It's going to be a project that will go on for years and years. And one of the best things, frankly, about being a writer and being a curator is the amount of work I get to do with visual artists who are doing such great projects, and the way these projects carry on over time and over periods. And over here I've got all of these are publications of mine. These are all things that I've either written myself or have been, or they're magazines and catalogs or things that have my writing in them. And there's many artists that I go back to and I work with over and over the years, and it's a real privilege. So that's my working day.
Thanks for coming on the Maloney Cronin Family Studio Tour.